Once in these posts, I put out the idea of, do you have the courage to risk people saying you betrayed them because you absolutely refuse to betray yourself? Anyway, so a question came back from a viewer and said, well, what about somebody who's really close to you? And anyway, it's a good question because sometimes it gets a little tricky. But here's an example, like with my mother, my beloved mother. She was a artist and so on, and wonderful in so many ways. But she had one thing that drove me and my four brothers just nuts, is she couldn't stop talking about fundamentalist Christianity and old in-law problems. We've heard these things for over half a century, the same old stories, and she would never stop talking about it. So finally, it was driving me so nuts that I thought I'd apply some of these shamanic practices, and I said to myself, I cannot live this lie anymore. Everybody spaces out when she talks, pretending to be nice and being dutiful as sons, because in Chinese you have to respect elders and all that. Okay, but it was just driving me nuts. So finally, one day we were driving up to San Francisco for a Christmas thing, and that had 8 hours, just nonstop yapping. And finally, I came to the solution. I said, Mom, from now on, if we want to have meetings together, I don't want to continue this lie. I want to have equal airtime. You don't have to believe what I say or doesn't say, but I want at least equal airtime. And she just blew a storm, like, in China, they let the old people talk, etc. But I stuck to my guns. In America, you don't know how to love elders anymore, pushing all these buttons. But again, I stuck to my guns. Anyway, a couple of days later, she said, okay, I talked to the Holy Spirit, and she said, have it your way. Love is sacrifice and all this. And so we, on the drive back, another 8 hours, we said, okay, equal airtime. And she said, I know. Okay, so then she went yapping away for an hour. And after the hour, I said, okay, your time's up. And she goes, okay, your time to talk. I'm listening. What do you want to say? And I said, Mom, for my hour, I think I'm just going to have quiet. As a matter of fact, I'll put on some nice music, classical music. We both love classical music. And that's what I did. I put on classical music on the radio, and what a relief. Okay, but I had to be vigilant. At the end of that hour, I said, okay, it's your time. And she says, okay, and then she starts talking again. But I realized after 2 or 3 cycles of this that her obsession with talking, she's beginning to understand that we're still connected whether she's talking or not. And from then on, our meetings were great.